Hey everyone, welcome into the first episode of Conquer Corona. We are setting aside fearless flipping during the basically the entirety of whatever this thing is, whatever this virus is, however long it's going on. We're going to come to you every single day. That's our commitment, to come with you every single day for 5 to 10 minutes to hear from either an update in my business or an update from another very highly touted investor's business of what they're doing to conquer Corona, to conquer the coronavirus, to move on to survive and thrive is what I've been saying a lot of recently. Seems like everyone is really trying to figure out how to either survive, keep their head above water, or to thrive during this time of what some see as an opportunity. And I definitely think there's opportunities that are coming about. And that's my job, is to deliver to you what other people are doing so that you can also learn how to survive and thrive during uncertain times, right? So first of all, I want to set the tone that this episode is just going to be with me. I just wanted to introduce this idea of what we're doing, and I wanted to bring to you what I'm doing in my business. But the biggest thing is I hope you all are safe. I hope you all are doing well and that you're really practicing social distancing. I know it seems silly. I know for some of you, you probably think, yes, this is a really big deal. And for some of you, you're probably still saying, this is just being blown up by the media. I think I'm somewhere in the middle where, yes, I do think that this is way more fear than needs to happen. But I also think that there's a lot of uncertainty and kind of fear from me as well, that there's no cure for this thing, right? And it's so early on, we have no idea what it could turn into. So that's the big thing right now, is just what can you be doing right now in your business, in your life, to conquer Corona, to take over right now during a time of where you probably, like me, are like, wow, I just had a real estate business. I just had an Airbnb business. I was looking to get into an Airbnb or real estate business. And that dream or desire has kind of like shifted a little bit. I don't want to say it's been crushed, because again, with these weird things comes very big time opportunities. You just got to be ready and know what you're looking for. So just to give you right now, what I want to share with you is what's going on in my business. So as many of you know, before all this happened, we were flipping houses on the side and mainly focusing all of our attention on Airbnb. And we have basically 10 listings, 11-ish, as we're adding on a couple here in this month that were ready to be Airbnbs. And now, of course, with all this happening, we had to really sit down and think, what is the most secure thing? And the biggest thing I didn't want to have happen was a national shutdown that who knows how long it takes, 14 days or 14 months, and not have occupancies in my Airbnb listings. So if I was relying on Airbnb, a third-party system, to put tenants in my place, I think that would have been a very reactive way to do this thing. So I got proactive. And you can also go see this on One Rental at a Time. I go way deeper into this whole thing of why I did this. But if you go to the podcast or YouTube channel, One Rental at a Time with Michael Zuber, I just talked about all of this, what I'm doing. But basically, without the knowing, the understanding of what was going to happen, the biggest fear was having vacancies. So we just went month-to-month rentals. So basically, whether that was a room out of the house or the entire home, just to at the very least, get a couple $100s in the green. So for example, if a place is costing me $1,800 a month, I want to rent it out to a short-term month-to-month tenant for $1,900 or $2,000 per month, just to weather the storm here. And so we were able to successfully do that with 9 of our 11 listings, which means that we have 2 that I am comfortable with leaving on Airbnb. I kind of want to see like how that goes. And all I've noticed so far is that Airbnb is getting tons of bookings still, but they're the last minute bookings, which are definitely the cheapest ones. Those are the ones that I'm like in defense mode and trying to just get bookings so that I don't have vacancies, because vacancies are expensive. So where houses that I would usually get, let's say $100 a night plus a $70 cleaning fee, now I'm getting like $60 a night, $50 a night. Sometimes I'm dropping into as low as $41, $42 a night plus the $70 cleaning fee. And instead of making, a net on that of, call it, $75, I'm making a net of like $35 to $40. So it makes a big impact when you're getting these last minute bookings. But again, we're getting bookings. And that's the one thing that I'm really surprised about. The next part is that I'm really encouraged by the different business model that this is starting to bring to me. and how there might be opportunities here because what I'm seeing is that if I go room by room, there's a possibility of actually making close to the same amount as Airbnb if I go room by room and find those people that are quality tenants that just are in a tough situation and they're probably single or, don't have kids and just need a room. So I'll keep you in the loop of how that's going, but there's a bigger need for that than I thought. A lot more people open-minded to living with strangers as long as it can be a furnished place and semi, affordable. And then the other part is just the amount of people that this is helping. We've got people that are going through really tough times, either getting kicked out of their house because the landlords are trying to move back in to save expenses. People going through divorces, people going through job losses, a lot of different things where, they need to make things as simple as possible. And a furnished rental month to month without any sort of commitment seems to be the simplest form for a lot of people right now in terms of how they're living. So the plan with Airbnb, let me back up for a second. Real estate, we are stopping flipping right now. We are just focusing on watching the market. As I continue to interview people, I'm going to be learning what other people are doing. I've got a few deals that are supposed to go into escrow in April, and we're just seeing right now what's going on and what we're going to be doing with those. And the biggest thing right now that we don't want to do is we don't want to burn bridges and lose relationships. So I'm communicating with all the people out there that I'm doing business with that, like, let's just see where things are going right now and don't lock me in. But the other part is that I want to make sure I'm making smart decisions. I talk about fearless. Yes, fearless is definitely the name of the game, but you don't want to just jump into deals where you have no idea what the end game is. The way that you're fearless is by having confidence in the numbers, confidence in what's going on. And right now, there's not a lot of confidence in what's about to happen. So that creates a lot of fear. And if fear is present, then I want to combat that with learning so that I can understand, well, how can I overcome those fears? How can I find where the confident deals are at, the for sure deals? So going back to Airbnb, sorry for the transition there. Going back to Airbnb, basically the whole game plan is that we're riding this out, we're weathering the storm, and I truly believe that on the other side of this, travel will be 2x, 3x, because people will, right now I've got 3 trips that were supposed to be done. We were supposed to go to Costa Rica, supposed to go to Arizona, and supposed to go to Vegas, and all of those trips are canceled right now. But in my mind, all those trips will be rescheduled. I'm going to go on those trips. And so suddenly you're going to have what I think, and I'm sharing the little secret sauce here, which I also have heard some data that I believe is going to back this. I believe a lot of people are going to do what I'm doing right now, but for the long term. They're going to get scared that Airbnb or the short-term rentals industry is not secure because of things like this happening. They're going to drop out. So like in my area, Fresno, where there's 450 active rentals, I believe when all this calms down, there might be 300 active rentals because people abandoned the Airbnb model and went to long-term rather than what I'm doing, which is month to month and weathering the storm. Then as soon as all this calms down, all these tenants know, hey, as soon as I'm ready to go back on Airbnb, you're going to have to find something else. They've agreed to that. So I'm not kicking them out. They understand the situation, but then I'm going to transfer everything back over to Airbnb. And now suddenly I'm going to be in competition with less people, which means my rates are higher. The supply is lower, which means that, again, if the demand is high, if we're 2xing and 3xing the travel because everyone now wants to travel all at one time because they had to push back their trips, now suddenly we've got all this demand and a little bit less supply. That means higher rates, right? So I'm very excited about the future here. And I'm also excited about people who are looking to join Airbnb right now, because I think, again, that there's a time right now where landlords are more open to having conversations about just filling their places than ever. And so if you're thinking about getting into Airbnb, this is what I've been telling all my students. Don't let this hold you back. If you've got landlords that you're talking to, don't let this hold you back. Don't go see and wait and whatever. I'm showing right now proof of concept that this is still a cash flowing business as a month-to-month rentals industry. It's just a little bit lower. But if you can ride that wave a little bit, and then when Airbnb or short-term rentals are back in business and people are 2xing and 3xing their travel, you're going to be really glad that you have a place. So if you want to learn more about that, all you got to do is DM me and let's set up a time to talk, or you can just go straight to fearlessflipping.com/consultation and you can book a 15 to 20 minute call with me. And just, right now it's like, again, it's about collaboration. It's about figuring out what everyone's doing. And so if you have even ways to help my audience, to help me, I want to set up a call with you and maybe even get you on the show too. So again, fearlessflipping.com/consultation, and let's have a conversation. So that is a deep dive into what I'm doing right now to conquer Corona. And I hope that you will join us day in and day out, Monday through Friday. We will be coming at you with about 10 to 12-minute interviews here with people that are sharing how they are conquering the coronavirus, surviving and thriving through these very uncertain times. We'll see you next time.